What's up, nerds? Welcome to NGR Radio, Episode 4. I am one of your hosts, Corey Deering, and alongside me, as always, my co-host, Shaniqua himself, Matthew Keel. Matt, I'm so glad you're here.
I'm doing this angry right now.
Why? Because I didn't open the show as Sean Connery?
Yes, you didn't open it the way I specifically asked you to, and the way that would have made our third guest happy.
I'm
you hate
so
happiness,
sorry.
don't you, Corey? You know, Cavs win the title, Akron's all happy as pigs in lard, or what, manure? Sure.
Pigs in a blanket?
Sure, yeah, okay, that too, because
Those
pigs
are
in a blanket are
delicious.
amazing. And now you're just like, well, I don't want
Not
anybody
the
else to
weird-
be happy.
Not the weird pigs in a blanket, the good ones, like the ones in the croissants and the cheese.
He's
The hot
talking
dogs
about the
Oh, never mind me, Meta. I'm off to play the grand piano. I don't need pancakes with my sausage. I need croissant. Come on, man, really?
Yeah. Joining us this week from Nerd Overdrive, El Capitan. I can't say it like Lee. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you have to learn how to roll the R's, and you have to.
Well, there was no R there to roll. It's El Capitan.
There's no
You said
there's no
it
R in El
He adds
Capitan.
that flavor that you would use rolling an R. He's like,
can't. That's why Lee's a better host than me,
What
and that's
flavor? He's a white
why-
man trapped in an Asian body. What are we talking about here?
he's got a little bit of the bloodline in him somewhere, the Spanish bloodline.
The bloodline?
That's why.
Bloodline?
That's why I have to host 9 shows to get the same amount of hosting ability that Lee can do in one. Ray Osorio joins us. Ray.
What's going on, nerds and nerdettes? Rise above.
Woo!
Now,
I was afraid.
tonight on Nerds Gone Rogue, we're going to just bash on Lee for an hour.
Yeah.
Because he was just on
Okay.
the show not so long ago.
we can't bash on Lee until after he sends me the computer that he's building me.
Matt's going to bash Lee for an hour, and Corey's going to back away from the situation. No, I'm not going to.
And I'll just sit here like this, just like, and not say nothing.
I know, it's just
Because I
Matt
still have to
rambling.
work with him.
Well, and see, the thing is that I think anything I would say, I would never mean it maliciously because, frankly, I can't wait to meet Lee so I can give him a big old hug and make it real awkward.
I can't wait to meet everybody. Like,
Yeah,
we've been talking, all of us, for what, like a year and a half
a year now. A year now. Well, Ray and I...
We've never...
Like a year and a half, me and Matt, because it was right before Evolve launched, so we were like, yeah, what's up, dude? We've been friends on PlayStation Network for like 3 years now, but let's finally go play a game together.
And look where we're at. Evolve is free to play, and we're right back where we started.
More players than ever.
Right.
And it's free.
Right. Oh man, what a disappointment of a game that was.
I don't. I got.
No,
the
it was fun. It was amazing fun.
I liked it. I mean, I got the platinum in it. It was a platinum that I will never forget, and that's not necessarily a good thing. But I got it.
I was going through my trophies the other day, and then I was going through your trophies, Matt. You have like 5 billion platinums, and I have 0.
I have 75, but you're close. You want to get a platinum? We'll get you a platinum.
I'm getting a platinum.
We will get you that Bloodborne.
Diablo. No, Diablo.
Oh yeah, we'll get Diablo.
That should be anyone. If you're a Diablo, if you've ever played Diablo, you need to platinum Diablo 3.
It's so easy.
I need 3 more trophies in Destiny to platinum that. And then I guess Bloodborne would be my next one, and then I don't know, Dark Souls 3, I guess. Whatever Matt's gonna drag me through, the platinums I'm gonna get. Yeah.
Well, I mean, if you want to talk Souls games, let's go right into topic. You first, sir.
Yeah. I have a new weird obsession. Bloodborne.
You're welcome.
Well, like, I've always liked these games. I've just never really put enough time into them to actually figure them out. But I have a really new obsession with Bloodborne and Dark Souls in general. And I actually just bought Demon Souls today.
What?
On Amazon.
Oh man, that game.
Oh.
That game makes me cry. I tried so hard to like that game, and it just.
Hey Ray. We could play it co-op.
That's what I'm doing. Co-op all the way.
Yeah, you can play it co-op. It's real fun co-op.
I still need a PS3. My PS3 died, and it's still sitting in a bag in a box in Lee's basement somewhere.
I actually sold mine so I could get a PS4, but I will get a PS3 if Corey wants to play Demon's Souls.
I do.
Demon's Souls is one of my 10 favorite games of all time.
I actually just plugged it in because I reordered Dark Souls 1 and Demon's Souls today. So
you should have just bought the Dark Souls Prepare to Die edition on PC. It was like $5 on the Steam sale.
I don't play baby games. I only play with controller.
You can play with the controller on PC.
Ow.
Well played, Mr. Dierig.
Yes. Yes. 50 no's and a yes means yes. Oh, it's really bad.
Oh, man.
Oh, boy. Anyway.
Okay, so you have a new obsession.
Yeah, like every night, every day at some point, this probably since let's see, about 3 months ago, I started Bloodborne with Joey, our injured co-host of the DNA podcast, and we played a lot, and he took me through the first area and kind of showed me the shortcuts and stuff, and then I beat the cleric beast on my own.
Mm-hmm.
And then I put it down because Joey had back surgery, and I didn't have anybody to play with, and I don't like not being shown around. Like, not necessarily like co-op, but just like somebody there, like, oh, if you go here, this thing's here. And I know that's not really the way to play Dark Souls, but that's too bad. All you Dark Souls people can get over it. But
yeah, I agree with you there. As a Dark Souls person, I agree. You know, some people go, oh, well, you're a noob if you do it that. Whatever. We're playing a game. If you're having a good time, that's what the game is for. Shut up. Continue.
Yeah. And like now, like I've gotten back into Bloodborne, and you said you would play with me, and we started co-oping it. And it's like one of the greatest gaming experiences of my life. Like, this has renewed my faith in video gaming, and that's something I don't say about a lot of games. Mm-hmm. Even like, you know, I've been trying to truck my way through Uncharted 4, which I've said enough about that game last episode. I'm surprised Ray even decided to come on this show because of last week's episode.
I haven't listened to the episode yet, so you may be getting a boycott from me in the future once I do listen to that episode.
Well, so basically, okay, continue. I'm gonna tee Ray up later.
Yeah, so like, I mean, just playing through Bloodborne, I've been having a blast, man. We've gotten through what, 5 bosses?
Yeah.
Now
you've done really you're better at the combat moment to moment than you give yourself credit for.
And like earlier today, I grinded a little bit in the first area, and I leveled up 2 more times. Put some stuff into Vitality just because it was the lowest stat I had, and I needed more life because I felt like I was losing too much life each time. So I pumped some stuff into Vitality, but man, I'm loving it, and I'm like learning how to upgrade weapons, and like it's so much fun, dude. And like I guess my topic is what games that you never ever thought in your right mind that you would love so much that you start playing it and you just had the time of your life.
Okay.
Because like Bloodborne is that game for me, and like it's amazing.
Well, can I ask you a question? I'm gonna respond to your question with a question. Like, so you didn't think you would enjoy Bloodborne? I mean, I can get Dark Souls because it's Souls, whatever. Then why did you pick it up?
Why did I pick it up? Because it was a game everybody was talking about, and I thought I had to at least try it.
Okay, no problem.
I mean, I don't do that with very few games, but like Dark Souls has such a high pedigree with fans, and like this is by, From Software, who's by now maybe considered one of the better game developers.
Yeah. And
like I thought, well, I at least have to give this game a try, because everybody's talking about it, and I actually played Dark Souls 1 for about 20 hours and really enjoyed it. I just got lost, and I don't like feeling lost, so stop playing. So, but Bloodborne's amazing. It's honestly one of the best gaming experiences I've had this generation, and I can't say that about a lot of games at all.
Yeah. Well, I mean, as someone who has sort of been a guide on this journey, I've enjoyed watching both you and even I watched Rey have some good times with us as well.
Oh man, we were having a good time with that.
And then
the pig.
The pigs. Yeah. You're gonna love those later in the game, but watching Moose just become completely enamored by it to the point where he's starting to message me during the day. He's like, so in Bloodborne, right? What happens when? And I'm like, yeah, he's hooked. But see, and the funny thing is, I feel like, and I know I probably sound idiotically sanctimonious, but that's kind of how everything really clicked for me, because like I started playing Dark Souls 1 originally, and I was like, oh, this is, well, actually no, I played Demon Souls originally. And I was like, this is really cool, but I feel like I'm not doing anything. I would get to a point and I didn't know where to go anymore, so I went back and I enjoyed the moment-to-moment combat, had a good time, but I didn't, the whole purpose of a game was not there for me. I was doing things, but nothing was happening. And I did the same with Dark Souls. Then I met someone playing Portal 2 multiplayer, a gentleman by the name of Ahmed Hesham, who is a medical student in Egypt. And he said, oh, you play the Souls games? I'm like, yeah, I don't really know what I'm doing, but like I've played them and I like them and I really want to get better at them. He's like, oh, well let me tell you something. They are actually secretly the greatest co-op games in history. And I'm 33 or 34 at the time, and he's 20. And I'm like, all right, I'm gonna listen to this frickin' child. Lo and behold, he and I had an absolute ball co-oping Demon Souls, Dark Souls 2. He hasn't gotten his PS4 yet, but I've promised him, since I've already gone through Bloodborne multiple times now, I will do for him what he did for me in those games, and which was say, hey, this is how it can be. And I also feel like I've kind of done my job there for you both, as well as Moose, and showing you just because these games are hard doesn't mean they hate you. Because I don't really think they do.
They hate you.
I don't think they do.
I think the line you're looking for is just because they're hard and they hate you doesn't mean that you have to not enjoy them. I think that's what you're looking for.
This is why I love you, Rey. You can take a literal turd that comes out of my mouth, polish it just enough that I might actually want to buy it. So, yeah, you're right. Whatever you just said, because I can't say it the way you just said it.
Just because they're hard and they hate you doesn't mean that you should enjoy it any less.
But I don't think they hate you. I don't think they do. I really don't, because I think they just say, hey, you remember when are any of you basketball fans, or were you basketball fans in the 90s?
Yeah.
Okay, remember when the Magic went to the finals? Remember that year?
That 1 year? Yeah.
That 1 year? Well, they played the Bulls early on in the playoffs.
Yeah.
And it got to the point where they would man mark everybody on the Magic except Horace Grant, and they said Horace Grant beat us. I think that's what I love about the Souls game. They say, hey, beat me.
Yeah, they do.
Nothing
is taken for granted. Nothing is given.
There's no, you have to beat me. I don't have to show you anything. You have to beat me. And I think because I've always been either sadistic or masochistic, or maybe a nice mix of both, I've gravitated to that. Yeah. Your thoughts, Rey?
they're one of those acquired tastes, and they're definitely not for anyone. But I think if or everyone, if you actually take that time to get past the kind of rugged exterior that the reputation that it has, you will find a very deep and enjoyable game, is what it is. And it's one of those things where the Souls games have this reputation of just being all out difficult, just brutally hard, which it's hard. But if you actually can get that out of your mindset, I mean, because I went through and Matt, I remember I bought Bloodborne the day it came out, and I'm like, Matt, I don't know how I talked myself into buying it, but I couldn't talk myself up into playing it.
And I always said, hey, Ray, let me know. We'll play together. A gentleman in the Phoenix Overdrive Nation, James Hernandez, he and I became friends playing Bloodborne. Because I told him, hey, you want some help? You let me know. And he's like, yeah! And then when the DLC came out, he jumped on it ahead of me and almost beat it, but then we beat it together. And, those games are and especially the later ones, like Bloodborne, kind of Dark Souls 2, but Dark Souls 3 especially, Dark Souls 3 gets it perfect, where you don't feel like summoning is making it easier, because it just doesn't. And Corey and I, when we beat the Bloodstarved Beast the other day, we had a go of it. We had a couple of rough goes at it, but it seemed like a lot of times I was dying and he was forced to sort of go it alone. And
oh yeah, I heard the stories about that. You kept dying, and Corey was like, "I guess I got to do this now."
Well, the funny thing is, when you get summoned into someone else's world, you don't go with your full stats.
That's
like
true.
Like Moose and I in the game that we've been sort of co-oping together. We're at a boss called Murgo's Wet Nurse, which is one of the last bosses in the game. But because Corey is far behind you as well, Ray, when I got into your world,
yeah,
it's gonna scale me back, so I'm not just a big brother going in and just killing everything. And because of that, I can't play the way that I've been currently playing and develop those habits. I have to be a lot more careful, because one hit can still take me, depending on what I'm getting hit by.
Yeah.
And boss battles are especially difficult because they hit the hardest. And and that goes to show, just because you're summoning people in, once those people, when you summon anybody in anyway, the boss becomes immediately more difficult, because your hits don't hit as hard. The life ratio is different. And they actually, I think, especially in Bloodborne and Dark Souls 3, each boss's AI is programmed to deal with at least 2 players at a time. And that makes it super hard if you're in there by yourself, because they're ready for 2. But when you have 2 in, it scales to the point where neither of you is hitting as hard as you want, and the person you summoned in has less life than they're used to, and less stamina. So the game is balanced to a point where just because you have help doesn't mean it's easy. And that is why, people have said, oh, you're summoning people. Oh, that makes it easy. Well, yeah, that means you've never played the games and you don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, this is no Diablo-style co-op or, anything like that.
You can't summon in Matt or Ray, who have thousands of Paragon levels, to do everything easy for you like Diablo. It's still work, and therein lies, in my opinion, the beauty of the Souls games. I love that.
Yeah, I just, when I first played it, I got it the week it came out, and I tried it, and then there's a couple other things going on around then, and I just kind of put it down and started playing something else, and I don't remember why I stopped playing it, but then like, you know, fall came around, all these games started coming out, spring came around, games started coming out, and now I'm just now getting to a point where I can get back to it, and it's freaking amazing. And I never thought I was gonna like a Souls game, even though like I dumped 20 hours into Dark Souls 1, but like you said, Matt, like I felt like I liked the combat enough, but I felt like I wasn't progressing like I should be, and like that's why I stopped. So I don't know. I just really found this new genre. It's not really a new genre game, but like it's just like that type of game has really started sparking my interest, and I've even gone on YouTube and started watching playthroughs of Dark Souls and Demon Souls and Bloodborne, and watching people play and all their different types of weapons and tactics and builds. And you know, I'm watching Game Informer's playthrough of Dark Souls 1 right now, and it's freaking amazing. And they're going places that I never would have dreamed I would have got to, but like it's awesome. I just really like it now. I just need more.
He does. He loves it. He's just like, yeah.
I mean, like for a long time now, until I played Demon Souls and Dark Souls 1, it wasn't the first. I'd had a couple of lapses where I'm like, you know what, I'm kind of done with video games. Before I played Demon Souls 1, I was headed for that. But Demon Souls showed me what I really liked about gaming, where, you know, each thing, difficulty aside, this is still what I love about gaming, is it's constant puzzles. Everything that happens in a video game, be it a QuickTime event, be it a rail shooting, super easy anything, be it a walking simulator, it is a problem for the player to solve. And I like thinking.
Yeah.
Now, there are plenty of games out there that don't cause me to think as much as I would like. But the Souls games, they put enough pressure on me to make me think, or to make me want to think quickly. And I want to get better at it. And I want to continue to get better at it. And, you know, in my head, I think it's making my mind a bit more limber. I might be wrong, whatever. But I wouldn't come back if that interaction wasn't fun. And that interaction is still fun. In fact, if Dark Souls 2 and Bloodborne and Dark Souls 3, actually, if they never came out, I'd probably still have my PS3, and I'd probably still be playing Dark Souls 1 and Demon Souls. The gentleman I mentioned earlier, Ahmed, he and I played through Demon Souls like 7 times. Now, that wasn't we started 7 characters. On the same character, we played through Demon Souls.
Just new game plus, new game plus.
Yeah, we just kept going. Because we were like, you know what? Feed the vein. I want more. Let's do this. You know, it was just the right amount of rush. And if there was a way to articulate that in the most appropriate fashion, I'll bet you the government would say it's illegal, because they would say, well, you're getting high doing this. And
wow.
it's a nice adrenaline rush. I love it. And as long as From Software continues to exist and put out things like this, and I hope their new IP they're working on is more of this idea, they will continue to take my money. And I will gladly hand it over. Right? Oh, I love the Soul series. Ray, you go next, because I've talked a lot.
Okay, so as far with me is we all remember a little, not so little, maybe big, kind of big game called Assassin's Creed.
What are you talking about?
We remember this. Have both of you guys, or either of you guys played the original Assassin's Creed?
Yeah.
How bad was that game? Like, be honest. How bad was that game in your opinion? Once you kind of started trudging through it and trying to play it, like, how bad was that game?
I came back and platinumed Assassin's Creed 2.
I played both 1 and 2 on 360, so I got all the achievements on both games. I actually really liked Assassin's Creed 1. It was really clunky.
Really clunky, repetitive.
Yeah, I mean, it was super repetitive, but it was super
for its time. It was ahead of its time, kind of, which Ubisoft has a knack for doing. They have that ability of kind of putting the cart before the horse, so to speak, in some ways with certain games and things like that. Like, look at Far Cry. Look how far Far Cry has come.
Well, Far Cry wasn't originally a Ubisoft game, though, was it?
I believe so.
I know they eventually. I'm pretty sure they eventually bought it. I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure Far Cry was not originally theirs. You know what? Keep talking. Make your point.
So it was one of those things where I played through the first Assassin's Creed grudgingly. Like, have you ever decided to be like, I'm going to play this game, come hell or high water, I want to play this game, and I'm going to play this game even though it's making me angry and it's kind of blah, whatever. But at the end of it, you kind of find yourself feeling a little better for it, actually sticking with it. That was the original Assassin's Creed for me. And then when Assassin's Creed 2 came out, I started playing that, and oh man, that was the game that made me fall in love with the series. Was Assassin's Creed 2, because that game, there are still games to this day. Shout out to Shadow of Mordor, which actually used the same engine and everything, pretty much, to build that game. They pretty much to build that game and the gameplay, which actually became one of the pinnacles of the open world game at that time. And then we had, Brotherhood, which was kind of a retread with a few different mechanics thrown in, and then Revelations, they started with the stupid tower defense crap, which for some reason at that point in time, tower defense was a thing, and everything had tower defense in one way, shape, or form. Not a fan of that stuff. And then came Assassin's Creed 3, the biggest letdown to me in that series, to be honest with you.
Biggest potential, though. Oh my god.
Oh man, they sold me on that game, on the history of. I'm a history nerd.
Yeah.
And
Me too.
when they were talking about George Washington and the founding fathers, and you were going to be in the middle of these epic battles, and you're going to be trudging through the Mohawk Valley, which I live in. Literally, this is home for me right now.
I literally killed people outside my door. No.
Then you have the stuff like Philadelphia and all that. That game was just so much wasted potential. And then they were like, hey, we're going to bring it back. And then Black Flag came, and that became a thing.
Now, was Cry Freedom a Black Flag thing?
The Freedom Cry? Yes, that was with the first mate. I can't think of his name.
I didn't play Black Flag, so I don't...
What, the main character?
No, the first mate of the character.
Adewale?
Yeah, Adewale. That, in and of itself, was
they never released
first...
a physical copy here, did they?
No, they never released a physical copy, but it was the first piece of standalone DLC that was beefy enough and could stand on its own without even the original game. You could play that and enjoy it forever.
I don't know about that.
I do.
It was maybe the second, not the first.
I put probably 70-something hours into Assassin's Creed 4. That game was amazing.
See, then they brought it back, and then so then here it goes.
Did you play Rogue?
I have Rogue on PC, and I've started making my way through it, and I love it. Because it's basically a continuation of Black Flag with a different character.
Right. That's all I want. Can we just make Pirates Creed now, please?
Just Pirates Creed. And then came the thing that had so much potential and was just like, oh man, it could be amazing because it's the first time you're able to co-op in Assassin's Creed for the Unity, the Assassin's Creed Unity. When that happened, it was like, yeah, this looks awesome, but then they put it all behind the stupid app lock wall, stupid garbage, and then it ran like crap, and oh, that hurt me. I still have it. I got a copy, and I still have it just on the day whenever I'm like, I'm finally going to go back and play that, because I literally played 3 hours of it, and I was like, no mas. I could do no more.
Yeah, I can't. Like, Assassin's Creed has been so up and down for me. Like, I still think Black Flag is the best game in the series, and Brotherhood is probably a close second. Like, I don't know. 1 was okay, and then Revelations was, like, not very good, and 3 was just... It didn't get good until, like, the middle of the game.
Are you skipping 2 on purpose? Because there was
No.
Assassin's Creed, then 2, then Brotherhood, then Revelation.
No, I just kind of put Assassin's Creed 2 and Brotherhood in the same...
Here, let me take this from Corey, because I'm going to completely be opposite. I hate Assassin's Creed. What started my hate with Assassin's Creed was Assassin's Creed 2.
The platinum on that is...
No, it wasn't even the platinum. I did that because I did that because I'm stubborn and I wanted to prove a point. And they're like, and a friend of mine who I told him, like, yeah, it's pretty looking, but this game sucks. And he's like, no, that game's amazing. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna get every trophy in this game, and I'm still gonna think it sucks. And I did, and it still sucks. Not because there's not something there, because there's something in Assassin's Creed. Who doesn't want to go back in time and mess around in history and do that? But when you're holding the run button, and then if you run by a lamppost, all of a sudden you're Spider-Man on the frickin' lamppost, I'm sorry, that is capital S stupid, in my opinion. However, I'm the only person on the planet probably that will say Assassin's Creed 1 better than 2. Yeah, I said it, Ray. You can't furrow your brow enough. I'm looking at you.
I can't.
Exactly. I liked Assassin's Creed 1, and when I played 2, I'm like, this is kind of meh. Now, I love Italy. I thought that Assassin's Creed 2 looked leaps and bounds above 1. I thought it was better looking in every aspect. However, about 1/3 of the way into that story, I'm like, you know what? I am sick of Ezio. I am sick of Desmond. I kind of want the Abstergo Corporation to just kill them all at this point.
I got to that point too at some point where the Desmond thing got to be a little bit much. And am I alone here with saying that I don't think we really got enough meaningful gameplay out of Altair?
Right?
I think that's kind of why they tried to go back to it a little bit in Revelations, but I agree. I think we could have used
tried it in 2 as well, but
I think we could have gotten another game out of Altair.
Well, the thing is, I think as I look at it in terms of just out-and-out story, not necessarily gameplay, not necessarily the actual game, but the Altair as a character, I think he was one of those that is kind of not developed in a way that the player can project story onto that character and it fits. Like Orson Welles talked about a movie he was in called The Third Man in like the 40s, and he said the reason everybody liked that the character he was, Harry Lime, as a villain is because 3/4 of the movie, all the other characters are talking about him, and he develops an allure. And I think in a weird way, and then when you reveal Harry Lime to be the quote-unquote asshole that he is, for some reason you still think, hey, he's all right, in a twisted way. I think Altair has that, but without being an asshole. Like Altair his narrative and story was so loose and so vague that you could basically fill it with whatever you want and it fit. And I think that's why I gravitate towards Altair versus Ezio.
Because he's kind of like the make your own assassin, or what you think the assassin would be kind of idea.
Yeah, in a weird way, it's the most role-playing game thing without being a role-playing game. And I was just like, you know what? I kind of like this guy because I think he's this. And Assassin's Creed 1 does not tell you you're wrong, right, or
yeah, they never
off.
tried to change your mind elsewhere,
They never have those little messages that say, Ezio does not kill regular human beings. Or whatever.
They never had those messages that say, try jumping, like in Dark Souls.
Oh.
But then we get to what I think is the renaissance and the resurgence of it with the return with Syndicate and what Syndicate did. Man, I love that game.
I'll be honest with you, because of your opinion, Ray, and a couple people that I am fans of, Derek Teague and Tim Nestor, talking about Assassin's Creed Syndicate, I almost went back. Almost. With as much love as Black Flag got, I still didn't want to go back.
The thing about Syndicate, though, dude, I hate the fact that, you have to press one button to climb up and one button to climb down.
They did that because of the complaints of the parkour with the one-button parkour for everything. A.k.a. the Spider-Man from the lamppost, reference that Matt made earlier in this conversation.
I can't. I stopped playing Syndicate for that very reason alone.
I'm going to come right back.
That reason alone is why I stopped playing Syndicate. And it's just I don't know.
I love this game that much that I actually bought a prop from it, the cane sword.
Oh, nice.
Isn't that a Templar weapon, you asshole?
No.
Oh, okay, I don't know.
This is technically Evie Fry's weapon from Syndicate.
You'll know better than I will. I was just asking.
I like those characters in that game though, but as much as I don't really care for the new Uncharted game, one thing they did get right was the climbing mechanic. All you do is press one direction and you just go that way. And it's nice and simple, and there's no weird button combinations. It's not a fighting game to climb one rock or one building. It's you just press left and I'll go left.
For all the things that you could give Uncharted for, that's what you give it, is that you can use the stick to climb.
Yeah.
Really, Corey?
Well, I'm not gonna give it its stupid shooting mechanics or its lame characters.
Derek, do what Derek does, son.
Derek is over here throwing some fighting words at me. I don't know if I'm gonna hug you first or just sucker punch you first, Corey. When I see you.
Well, no, you're gonna hug him, and then you're gonna do your Assassin's Creed Blade thing and get him in the back.
Here's my summary for Uncharted 4. We've run
I really wish I was Indiana Jones.
We've run out of ideas, and we fired our best writer. So what we're going to do is we're going to create this whole new character who hasn't been mentioned in the 4 previous games, and we're going to make him up, and we're just going to shove him in here. We're going to get rid of probably the best part of the Uncharted series, Sully, who's hardly in it at all. And
what do you mean, get rid of Sully? Is he dead?
No, he's in it, but barely.
Yeah, you don't. Sully was not. Spoilers, guys. Just Sully was not as integral to. He wasn't woven into the fibers and the webbing of the story of Uncharted this time around. This time he was a very, very much side character.
The only reason why I like Uncharted is because it has the Indiana Jones, Harrison Ford, Sean Connery thing going on for it. And guess what? It's gone. So, okay, that's my final rant on Uncharted 4. I'm sorry, Ray.
You can only say sorry so many times. Like the famous words of Indiana Jones. You can only say sorry so many times.
Look, there are games we all want to play with our friends, and we all want to share in our friends' experience. And just because our friends love certain games and want us to love them doesn't mean we're going to love them. I went to Uncharted before I had met Rey, and I'll be honest, because of Rey's love with it, I've thought several times of going back. I don't know if I will, but I've thought about it.
Don't get me wrong, Uncharted's a great series. I like one is okay, and 2 and 3 are great. And Golden Abyss was okay, but like 4, man, 4 is I don't know.
I mean, when
There's
I first
something
started,
missing, and it's very clear what's missing.
Sully.
Well, yeah, Sully, but like it's just the team makeup is different, and you can tell. And why is there just so conveniently in these places that are like hundreds of years old with no human contact whatsoever? There's just conveniently a giant box on wheels everywhere you need one.
The same can be said about Tomb Raider.
That's true.
It's just you have to remember that as much as we want to manifest these into some kind of real life like analogy for games and things like that, they're still games, and they have to have gamey, unrealistic mechanics.
I know.
Unless you're talking about frickin'...
But they were there in Tomb Raider, the reboot, the first one. They weren't really there in the other Uncharted games. They were there in The Last of Us.
Yeah, Last of Us was so good.
See, and that's what I was trying to tell Lee. I said, Lee, okay, let's get past your hate of Uncharted and Naughty Dog at this point, because now you hate them, and you're slowly starting to become my enemy and not my friend.
Oh, anymore. Ray, don't do that.
No. But what I've said is, if anything, if you don't play any of the Uncharteds, play The Last of Us. And
okay, that makes sense.
Maybe you will see that bright light that I see in Naughty Dog.
Well, no, I've said this. I think I said this here on this show. I think Naughty Dog is like Blizzard in a different way. Blizzard can take a style of game and do it perfectly. They took the dungeon crawler and made Diablo. They took the MMO and made World of Warcraft. They took the collectible card game that was predominantly a physical, you must have these cards in your hand sort of thing, and made Hearthstone, which is amazing. Yeah. And I still haven't played it yet, but I feel like they're doing the shooter a good bit of justice in Overwatch.
Oh man, Overwatch is...
Whereas Naughty Dog... Now, none of these things that Blizzard is doing is breaking new ground. They're not pushing any envelope. They're not making things different. They're just saying, hey, we're going to make the best of this that we can. And it's literally the best of that most of the time.
The company I compare Blizzard most to actually is like a more modern look at what like Nintendo used to be.
That's a astute observation. However, what I'm getting at is Naughty Dog, they don't take styles of games. They say, hey, we're going to take our game and make it look better than anything else. And I think the fight that we all fight as gamers to a degree is whether or not something is photorealistic, which I think is a dumb thing because graphics do not make the game at all. However, for better, worse, rich or poorer, Naughty Dog knows how to make a game look phenomenal. Now, I had my gripes with The Last of Us. I did. But that game is damn amazing.
For what it's built on, which was the PlayStation 3's, 512 split memory. Yeah, they made that made that game shine on relatively primitive, 3D gaming hardware, in that space for that time. And given the time from the time the PlayStation 3 came out until The Last of Us came out. And that's the one thing that I can always say about that. But, I don't know. It's just one of those things, like, we're always going to have our loves, our hates, and all that kind of thing. And it's just like, sometimes I wish I could just take whatever essence that I have for the love of things and just be able to be like, Matt, here, and just mind meld with you and get you to see it from my perspective. Say, just kind of like get that feeling, just be like, this is what I see, this is what I feel. So that way you can understand it a little better, because I get so much hate for loving Uncharted now, like everywhere, like like seriously, like,
and that's my fault, isn't it?
I guess you could say Shaniqua's partially to blame. The
I don't see it. That's not what I want. That's not what I want.
The world's greatest mass murderer comments that started with you, and then Lee and Becky ran with them.
That's not what I want, though. That's not what. See, like, it's just. I'm like you, Ray, and this is why we've gotten along since the first time we actually decided, hey, we're gonna play games together. We've always been like, play what you love what you play.
Yep.
If you don't like it, don't play it. If you're not having fun, play something else.
Yep.
And I'm pretty sure Corey's the same way. And I think this is why that despite never having met each other in real life, I think if we all sat down in a room together, we'd be great friends. I mean, and I've put that theory to the test several times with people in my own community. I met Rob Rinaldi last September, and that is a gem of a human being. I wish I had had him in my life way before, because I've never met anybody so hospitable and so knowledgeable about everything you talk about. Paul Linga came over to my house last November, and we kicked it for a weekend, and holy crap, I've always looked at people in their early to mid 20s as children, because a lot of what I see day to day, they are children. Paul Linga's a grown ass man, and he's a very intelligent individual. I met Matt Phillips, Captain Canada himself, graced Philly with his presence, and he and his wife, Mrs. Captain Canada, are amazing individuals. I met Moose a few weeks ago at this point, and it's like the one thing in common is, because I've been interacting with these individuals online, it feels like we've all been friends for years. And when I meet you both at Extra Life in November, I have a feeling it's not going to be we're gonna walk into a room and be like, oh hey, I'm Matt.
Hey, what's
I
up?
I like video games, and I'm also.
What's your favorite video game controller? I like GameCube.
I hate you, Corey.
Corey took the tender love out of that moment.
Oh, that was what we talked about last episode. And I'll just walk in and be like, "We must go to Berlin."
Oh boy.
But I think the interesting thing is how, if I hear either of you talk about a game, I'm going to think about it differently than when I listen to someone in the press talk about it. There are people in the press that I genuinely respect, because I think A, they write to what I like, or B, I like the way they write, or C, they've never really steered me wrong. But if I hear someone I genuinely consider a friend say, hey, you might want to try this, I'm definitely going to listen. And, I poke fun at you, Ray, for liking Uncharted because I didn't. But I am never, ever, ever, and if I ever do this, you can
I'll call you on it. Be like,
you could call me on it and drag me over as many coals as you want. I will never say you are wrong for liking anything. And I think one of the things that I love about you most is you love what you love. You're like, yeah, I think it's the greatest thing ever. And I'm like, I don't. You're like, that's cool, bro.
I just have to give Lee crap because Lee, for the longest time, he's like, so I went and I got the Uncharted Nathan Drake collection. I'm like, here you go, Lee. Now you have no excuse to play it because you now have a PlayStation 4 to play it on here. And then
let's be real. Lee's a silly little man, isn't he?
Yeah, he's a
silly little man.
He's a PC baby gamer. Is that what?
Him and his ivory tower building his PCs,
in his top hat,
downloading his RAMs.
What is this console game you bring me?
And that's the big thing that
Who wants a PlayStation 4? Honestly.
So I guess since we're kind of like talking topics and stuff like that, I think we all covered the original topic, which was what game that we thought we wouldn't like, but we ended up loving. I think that's where we were, right? We haven't jumped to another topic.
I actually sort of think we've just kind of gone, which is fine.
Yeah, which is fine. So my topic actually was going to be, why do you guys think that there is still that stigma or that negativity or that just perception that society has for gamers? Because I deal with this on a relatively frequent basis.
A daily basis for me.
Well, I mean, the thing is I could say daily because I interact with people everywhere, and literally, like, if I'm out with Melissa or I'm out with my girls or whatever, if there's someone talking games or if I'm in a game environment like a GameStop or something like that, like if some people are talking, if I find that moment where I can jump into a conversation, I have no qualms about doing so. I will jump into the conversation and I will start talking to you as if I've known you forever, and you will either like me for it because we'll become bros, or you'll hate me for it and you'll think I'm a pompous jerk. But anyway, if
anybody thinks you're a pompous jerk, I would love to meet that person.
No, it's really funny.
I'd be like, hey, look, everybody, this is the most incorrect person on the planet.
Because it's one of those things where I was somewhere with my girls, and it was either like an aunt or grandmother. It was like a maternal figure. And this kid, and he goes, man, I can't understand why he loves this dumb Minecraft. It's so stupid. And so we were talking, and Janae started talking to the kid because, Janae, all kids pretty much love Minecraft. Like, I've yet to meet a kid that does not like Minecraft in one way, shape, or form.
It's crazy. You're right.
And so then I was talking to whoever she was to him, and I said, well, just think about it. It gives him creativity. It lets him use his imagination. He's taking, virtual representations of something he has in his head, and he's making and putting it there on the screen for you to look at, for him to look at, his friends to play on, and everything like that. Why deter them from that kind of creativity, which we see already kind of stomped out in schools because they're taking away the creative arts, like your arts and your crafts and, your music and things like that. The expressions that make us, that kind of bring us together.
Make us from the animals.
Because, you can go, and Matt will kind of go, because me and Matt have had discussions about music, but you'll hear that one song, and you'll hear that song, and it'll automatically take your memory and that nostalgia, and it'll transport you back to that time, or to a time that either, it may make you happy, it may make you sad, it may make you angry, but it makes you feel. So it's the same thing with games. Like, why are you going to sit there and knock for someone for loving something that they love, or, just because you don't see it the same way?
Testify.
Because it's like you said, you've already kind of beat my punchline to the topic here. Is like, I always say, play what you love what you play, and every now and then I'll give you a little ribbing if you like something that I don't like, or vice versa. But it's all in good fun, because you know what? At the end of the day, we are gamers, and the tagline that I like to look is like, okay, those people that don't understand what we like and what we enjoy, they live their one life day in and day out, but us as gamers, we get to experience multiple lives, multiple perspectives, from any which way and every genre that you like, because in many ways we become those characters and they draw us in. and that representation of that character on that screen becomes a part of us, and we become a part of them.
Yep.
And that's why, and that's why, going back, I have that, that love for Uncharted that you guys have heard episodes on Nerd Overdrive about, or other places that I've talked about it.
You like Uncharted?
But you have Matt. Uncharted? Like, when Matt talks about Dark Souls, you would swear it's like the maestro tuning up the orchestra to play the frickin' symphonies, that kind of thing. Like, it takes him to that point, like, where that's his craft. And the same thing, like, I can actually credit Corey for something that's, like, really awesome, and my girls love it, is the Disney Infinity thing. I was kind of about. Like, I was like, I don't know, man, that's gonna get expensive. I was trying to find all the reasons why to talk myself out of getting into it. So with 3.0, I was hesitant with it. I went and bought the Star Wars because I was like, well, it's Star Wars. I love Star Wars. What better point to start now? To kind of start now and go from there. And that was Corey's doing, and then I started talking with Corey and Todd and all of our other friends that are into it. And now you see that entire cabinet right there. That's all Disney Infinity in there.
Yeah, I mean, like that. I mean that, like, you guys can see if you're watching the video. Like, I have 6 shelves dedicated to Disney Infinity. So, like, it's like Disney Infinity.
It takes those characters and those parts of childhood. Like,
just because I want to share, I don't have anything like that. Because all my amiibo are in my closet right now.
What to us are like the Toys to Life stuff. That's you and your vinyl, because your vinyl can transport you to any world, moment, place, time. That kind of thing.
I've got Toys to Life stuff.
No, I mean, I know, but I'm just saying, just
like
going off of what you have.
They're kind of awesome.
See, and that was the thing, because at one point I was weighing, well, do I get into Skylanders? Do I get into Disney Infinity? My oldest daughter kind of tried the Skylanders Giants thing, and she was kind of like, and she got over it quick. But the other thing is like Lee and his passion for his Blizzard games, especially WoW, and Becky with her passion for the WoW games and the way they talk about those. I was a part of those times that they talk about, and I remember them fondly, and I loved it and I enjoyed it. But it's just like I wasn't quite to the level where they are.
Right. I heard you guys talking about it on your show today, Ray, and I'm just like, the way they're talking about WoW and like just the way they like know the characters so well, and like the way, like, just the little bit you guys talked about it today was like there's certain things in my life that I could probably talk like that about, and it's just amazing how we all have, like, even though we're all gamers, like, we all have these different games that we love and could talk like that about. When, Ray, you could probably talk Uncharted lore for like hours on end, where like I could talk some Zelda to you all day, and Matt.
Final Fantasy. Did you not hear my opinion?
Yeah, don't. Now you think Ray knows anything about Uncharted? Don't get him started on Final Fantasy. Like, I can deal with the Uncharted stuff. I really can. But once he gets going off, I'm like, nope. No, I don't have enough breadcrumbs to get home now.
Let's start with Final Fantasy 1, Ray.
Take us back.
Take us to Berlin.
Now, take us to Final Fantasy, Ray. Take us all the way through it, note by note, and then I'm just gonna.
We named the dog Sephiroth.
And then I'm just gonna say, stay a while and listen.
See, and that's the other thing. Is Diablo. I could go forever on Diablo. Like, me and Matt would sit there and we're talking about Diablo as.
Oh, so good!
As we were playing things, and I'm talking about the lore. Like, hey, do you remember this, Matt? Or you remember that? Or hey, what about this character or that character? And remember the first time Decker Kane decided to have you, and then you ended up having to murder a whole town, and we're talking about,
we're playing Evolve, and people are like, "What are you talking about? Murdering a whole town?" Yeah, that happened, and we're like, "Wait, what?"
Tristram.
Oh, wait, we're playing Evolve right now. We're not playing Diablo.
That's the thing, is we can basically side talk the whatever game we're playing. Like, if it's like Rocket League, how many crazy dumb nights on Rocket League that we talk about everything else but Rocket League?
Oh man. Well, like, I remember for the Platinum Achievement podcast for the end of 2015, one of our community members, Tim Nestor, who now hosts Fathers of the Grind, he decided, hey, we should do an end of the year thing, and he approached us, the podcast, and saw what we thought about it. And I'm like, do it. I'm like, just do it. And Antonio, Imran, Brian, and Chris were like, yeah, that could be good. They didn't expect what we got, and like this is when I said, okay, well, I'm going to interview the community and try and get game of the year stuff and things like that. I really wanted to get everybody involved. Unfortunately, it never fully manifested in the way I wanted it to. Hopefully, I can bring what I have out eventually, but it's becoming super, super late at this point. I don't know if it'll happen. But Tim actually created a series of polls and talking about what the community thought was like the best things of the year. And Rocket League took so many awards.
That was mine. Mine was Rocket League with the
Rocket League,
Assassin's Creed Syndicate.
Yeah, and when I remember there were multiple times where we would get 8 people playing Rocket League, and we would literally solve the world's problems. We were talking about NCAA players, whether or not they deserved to get paid. We would say, maybe instead of we would solve terrorist issues. I mean, we weren't like super, exclusive about it. We just said, hey, what if people looked at it this way rather than this way? And then you get, 8 people talking that are willing to let everybody else sort of have their say, and it was just a beautiful type of synergy that I don't remember the last time I had that with anything. And then on top of that, you get in a party with Lee and Becky on the same team. That's just magical.
Oh, it was even worse when they were on opposite teams because
when they were on opposite teams. When they were on opposite teams, it was, for lack of a better term, it was damn near orgasmic comedy because just listening to those two trash talk each other, and you knew no matter what they said, they were never talking to anybody else.
Yep. You didn't have to wonder, wait, Lee, who are you talking to? You never had to question because you knew.
You knew.
Becky.
Becky scored a goal. Lee's like, that bitch, I've got to score a goal now. And he would work his tail, and it was so good. And that's sort of the beauty of multiplayer gaming. It was like playing GoldenEye on the Nintendo 64, except none of us had to be in the same place anymore. And
how wonderful is that, though?
That is amazing.
Gaming has evolved. Because, honestly, had it not been for that, I wouldn't know you. I wouldn't know Corey, just to name a couple. I wouldn't know half the people that I know because all of our circles kind of cross-pollinate now. It's just like, hey, this guy was PA, but now he's part of PON, and now they're DNA, or they're DNA, and they went over to PA, and they're part of PON. It's just all of that, and it's just the amazing groups of friends that we have and the friends that I've made just through gaming, and people still want to be negative about it. And yeah, there's some gaming's gotten bad raps because of the school shootings and this, that, the other, but there's a lot more to it. Just like there's a lot more to the other problems in this world, but we can't attribute it to any one thing. And it's just it's a sad mess in the sad world that we live in, that they want to point fingers and they want to blame any one particular thing that brings joy, especially like gaming, to so many.
Yeah.
Plus,
honestly, I think we're going to come to the world where the gamers are going to become the majority because there's the statistics are leaning toward the gaming, because whether it's a mobile game, a PC game, Minecraft, or anything like your little iPhone, Android games, that kind of stuff, people are playing games today now more than ever. And it's not just video games, it's your tabletop, your card games, board games.
Pokemon Go.
Pokemon, look at the explosion that was Pokemon Go.
Oh, dude, Pokemon Go is so crazy.
It's
so crazy. It is so crazy. I'm gonna rationally articulate myself here. I do not like Pokemon. Not because I've played the games and didn't like them, but because by the time they came out, I was too old.
Were you?
I was. by the time, well, what year did Pokemon actually sort of become a thing?
98, was it, Corey? 99, somewhere?
98, I think, is when
Okay.
they came out here.
I graduated high school in 1998, so I was thinking about a couple of things more than I was thinking about Pokemon. One of them was music, the other was movies, and then maybe girls was around there somewhere. I don't know.
Maybe.
The Mon to the Pokey? Is that what you were doing? The Mon to the Pokey?
I can't argue with you. But the point is, like, I looked at Pokemon and I'm like, you know what, these creatures, I thought the art, I still think the art style was cool, and I still think, you know, looking at the designs of Pokemon, there's something special there, but it didn't make me want to collect them all. And seeing what's going on with Pokemon Go, and if you have to bleep me out, Corey, I apologize. It's fucking weird. It is
everywhere. I met about 100 people over the weekend. No
the
lie.
memes that are coming out of Pokemon Go are insane. There's a guy who used to be in Platinum Achievements who I became friends with. His name is Mario Luis Gutierrez Abed, I think.
Yeah.
I don't remember. He has multiple names. I apologize. Anyway, he posts the funniest memes because you'll see it's a picture that a guy has taken of a girl in a very suggestive position with very little clothing on, but you see a Pokemon in a very opportune place, and you're like, well, when it's about to happen with your girl, but Pokemon Go is life, and you're just like, how can you not laugh at that? But
there is actually a whole subreddit to NSFW.
Right, and then
Pokemon Go threads.
Then you see memes about multi-car collisions because someone wanted to get out of their car and catch a lamb chop or whatever, or a Pikachu or whatever. I don't know Pokemons because the thing is, I know the Chim Pokemon from South Park, and I know what Smosh did with the Honest Pokemon trailers, and I want to call them either one of those rather than what they are. Like, I want to call Pikachu Japanese Mickey, or or I want to call something Haunted Vagina, or Booty Had Me Like, or Turnip for What, or Nature's Fleshlight, or something like that, because I think that is Pokemon into my head, because I'm really just a 12-year-old boy, and I looked it. Yeah. Pokemon is freaking weird. However, on this note, because people are so enamored with Pokemon Go, I've embarked on my own little fetch quest in Philadelphia.
I saw, and I was actually proud that the first one you were like, Puerto Rico. I was like, yes.
that was literal. Okay, like there are these. The Democratic National Convention is in Philly, the city where I live, this year. When I first saw one of these donkeys, because there are multiple donkeys around the city of Philadelphia. There's approximately 57. I've done some research, which is one for each of the 50 states. I'm guessing the American territories, and I found one that said Democrats abroad, so I guess they're accounting for the absentee ballots with that donkey. Anyway, they are around the city of Philadelphia, and I decided I'm going to find and take a picture of all of them. This started last Monday when I saw the Puerto Rico donkey. It was after a job interview, I'm happy to say I nailed, but the offer they gave me was downright offensive. Out of respect, I'm not going to say anything else. But I found this donkey, and I'm like, what's this? And then I've been wandering around Philly lately. And I got off the bus in North Philly and just started walking south towards Center City. And I saw literally 7 more. And I'm like, okay, all of these have states on them. It's clear something is happening that I want to know about. So I Googled it. That's when I found out it's with the Democratic National Convention. There's 57 of them around Philly. I'm going to catch them all. Damn it. And I'm not going to be one of those people that will hop out of their car in the middle of the freaking freeway and get hit by another car trying to catch them because they're real, they're physical things, and I need some Assassin's Creed in my life, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, that's like there was actually I got an email from change.org because I'm adminning a couple Pokemon Go pages right now. And yeah, they already started.
Wait. Change.org.
Yes. There are concerned citizens that are trying to get Nintendo, Niantic, and Google to try to put safeguards so that way Pokemon Go hunting does not impose any threat to public safety, a.k.a. the crashes, this, that, the other.
A.k.a. they want people to not be stupid.
Yes. A.k.a. yeah, basically the don't be stupid guys.
Okay.
I will send it to you after the show.
I'm just going to say this, and my sister's going to hate me. We do know that Mbop was a #1 hit, right? We do know that in the 70s there was a song that was legitimately loved by millions of people called Disco Duck. And there was also a song that was #1 called Doing the Butt. You know, and then there are still people that want to bag on the Beatles for being so repetitive because she loves you, yeah, yeah, yeah. This is what kind of intelligence the public at large. Sorry, people. I mean, you know, and I try not to get down. I try not to.
Basically, get down. the overall representation, the vocal majority that we see is basically what you're trying to get to.
Oh boy.
Like, I'm sorry, and I'm going to say this. I don't care who I alienate. There's a giant amount of people out there that are just walking, talking, living, breathing stupid. There just is. And
common sense isn't so common.
Common sense has to be taught. People say you can't teach that. No, you can teach it because my mom taught me not to be a dick to people. My mom taught me that, you know, just because you see someone with darker skin, that doesn't mean they're not a person. You know, in fact, my parents, when I meet somebody who's from a foreign country, my parents taught me to be annoying because I ask them nothing but dumb questions because I don't know about their place, where they're from. So I'm going to say, hey, what's this like there? Because I want to learn. I'm not asking them to make them feel bad. I want to learn about that stuff. Yet, people say common sense can't be taught, but I'm going to get out of the car on a crowded freeway because Pikachu's off in the distance. Gotta catch me a Pikachu, right?
Pikachu's rare, dude.
I hatched a Pikachu.
God damn it, Corey.
Oh man.
And on that note, I think Matt's broken for the show.
I don't want to get angry. I really, really don't. I really don't. Someone say something. I need to calm down.
I love you, Matt.
I love you too, Ray. I love you too, Corey.
I love you. Don't quit my show.
I'm not gonna. No, I would never quit this because, frankly, when things like this happen, and when Ed's on, or when Lee's on, or when anybody else wants to come on and talk with us about video games, it's my favorite thing in the world. Even though I know so little about video games, I don't know why you guys keep me around.
You know what the funny thing is I've always prided myself on trying to learn everything I can about everything. And it's just like, I enjoy learning. And what's funny is, like, I used to be a big sports nerd, like, really, really big. Even that's now kind of, like, sidestepped, and the gaming nerdery is, like, taking over. Like, because I was talking basketball with Muffins, and he's over there throwing out names and stats, and old me, like, circa 2010 would have been all over that. But new me, like, is this, like, I know who the guy is, but I'm not familiar with the stats and the other stuff you're talking about right now.
I've been a fan of soccer for 20 years, or 22 years now, because the '94 World Cup was when I became a fan, and I deep dove so hard into learning about the history of soccer. When I meet people that are 50 and 60, and I talk to them about players from whatever country they're from, and they're like, "How do you know about that?" I'm like, I love this sport, and in fact, for as much as I do not like baseball, I know a crap ton about baseball because I think baseball history is the closest thing Americans have to Greek mythology.
Yeah, baseball.
Babe Ruth is our Zeus. Ty Cobb is our Hades. Mickey Mantle is our Hercules, in a way. Or Willie Mays, whichever way you want to go. I would prefer Willie Mays because Willie Mays is probably pound for pound the greatest player of all time. That's a divisive statement.
It is a very divisive statement, but hey, you never know. Like that, and that's what makes opinions and everything matter to a point. Mm-hmm. Like sometimes you get people with an opinion and you're just like, man, you're just talking to talk right now. But when you have someone that can articulate it intelligently and kind of give you their knowledge on it and what they know and their feeling and their emotion behind and this is anything, not just sports or video games or anything, it makes that conversation that much better if you are open-minded enough to take it in.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Corey's like, I have no idea what you guys are talking about now, or he's doing something. Are you working on the website right now, Corey?
No, I'm not.
He's like, I'm on Facebook. I'm seeing what Sana's doing right now.
No, she's asleep. I know what she's doing.
I have to say though, I saw that video that you posted on Instagram of Sana dancing, and that had me literally laughing and just that was a feel good moment, like in a really, because I was having a rough kind of weird time, and it's just like that was one of those things when you see things like that, when you see your friends or like your friends' girlfriends and people that you've come to kind of know and you kind of come to love and be part of that be part of their life, stuff like that makes you laugh. Like Matt with his vinyl his vinyl of the day thing that he does, I will sit there and I will stop whatever I'm doing and I will click on the video just to see the song that you have playing or whatever it is, to get your synopsis of the record for that day, that kind of thing.
Thank you. For that.
That record, every time I watch it, I'm like, that record player's so cool looking. I'm like, I'm not even into music, but I don't know.
Well, Gramavox, it was the second Kickstarter I ever backed, and like all the Kickstarters I've backed to this point, I do not regret. And that is one of my favorites. The floating record player is I actually like, it's changed. I've loved vinyl for a vast majority of my life since I was 4, and that has basically, whenever I put anything on that record, I'm like, what, this is why I love this. And I would tell anybody, if they're interested in spending a moderate chunk of money on a record player, it's $400. I'm not going to lie to you. But for the $400 for this record player, you get speakers included, which is rare. And you get, the ability to plug your headphones in or plug it into a speaker system. You get, and the speakers that are on it are good. In fact, all those Instagram videos I posted are with the built-in speakers. They're not my sound system at home, because my sound system is worse. I've compared it. And yeah, but being able to play a record vertically versus just having to stand over watching it spin, which is something I would do anyway.
Which doesn't that put actually, like, it actually hurts the records because of the gravity of the needle and stuff like that?
No, it does not.
No, I mean the old way, the flat turntable way.
Anything you put on there, it's analog, so it's going to degrade anyway over time. And that has been something that has been present since the '78 era. But being able to have a vinyl that has a design on it, like I have this album by The Damned called Machine Gun Etiquette that looks like it was made with spin paint.
Didn't the new Star Wars thing come out with the holographic thing?
And it works. It's amazing. I put my phone, I literally sit in this chair that I'm in and point the flashlight on my phone at the record player, and I see the Millennium Falcon spinning.
Now, isn't that basically the play of the old school, like the very, very old school Victrolas and things like that, which were basically sideways record players like that?
They worked on spindles, I believe.
They did work on spindles, but isn't that a play on the same?
Like it was like a beer.
Ideal?
It was like a can where it was just like this would be the thing, and the needle would work on this same principle, but instead of this time, it's dragging across a circular disc rather than a cylindrical piece of machinery. But it's. I'm glad. If anybody actually does watch that, thank you. I really just I could speak about music way more than I could ever speak about video games, and
we've done it, Matt.
Whoever does it, whoever actually pays attention to the 15 seconds a day that I post on Instagram, thank you. I appreciate it. I don't even remember what I was talking about now.
Corey, are you okay over there, dude? Because you just look like you're just like...
I am. I'm just listening.
You're just like
I think he literally said, I'm going to have Matt and Ray on, and it's going to be chaos, and I'm just going to watch it happen.
No, I'm just listening.
Well, and I know this particular episode we've been going for a little over an hour and a half now, and we started with a topic and then just sort of went. And I think that's kind of the spirit of what this is, rather than buttoning down. And I mean, because we've had Ray on before, and we've gone for 4 hours?
3.5.
Oh, we were so tired at the end of it.
Yeah, we were.
But I wouldn't. And this is why I like doing this, because whether or not we agree on the same games or even the same type of hobbies, I would rather spend my time talking with you guys than most people I encounter in my daily life. So, thank you both for being awesome.
You're welcome. Thank you for being awesome too. Like I always say, like, you guys are like
Corey, Ray. I need to interrupt you. Corey, I need you to look into your camera right now and look right at me. We're gonna make eye contact right now.
He's going full Antonio now.
Corey, I'm so glad you're here.
Yes. Oh, I'm so glad you guys are both here. And like you said, the purpose of the show isn't really the topics that we bring. Like, yeah, that's kind of a starting point for this show, is like everyone brings a topic and we all kind of talk about it. But like the things we get out of it, like the conversation, the veering points, the forks in the road, all the conversation we have is like, yeah, we're gonna have some times where we're gonna be laughing hysterically, and I'm sure, there's gonna be a day where we bring up a topic that's gonna make us cry or make us feel some sort of emotion that we don't usually show other people, and like that's kind of the point of this show. It's not, it's not like a generic news podcast. It's friends getting together. Like, we don't, like, you guys live far away from me, and we all live far away from each other, and like,
yet we're right here.
This is the one.
That's the best part about this. This is the best part about the future. We're right here.
Yeah, and that's the point of the show. It's like, I want to get the same thing out of this show as if we were to like if we all lived together, we all went and got a drink together one night and just hung out and played some games and talked about games and stuff. Like, that's the point of this show. And like I started this show because there's people in the community that I want to be close with, and even though like I haven't met you guys like face to face, like you guys are way better friends than most of the friends that I have, you know? Like, I consider you guys some of my better friends, if not on a list of probably best friends. Like, I just, you know, it's just, that's the point of the show is yeah.
You know, and that's why I always say with everything what I was saying was, I always look at you guys and I always use that term Phoenix family, because it's just like, out of this one thing that I decided to start up with Becky and Lee as far as the community, to branch out from the Extra Life stuff we did, we've just grown this massive gamer friend family thing. Like, I always tell Becky and Lee they're my family. They were my friends that became my family because I was able to choose them. And, you know, Matt and Corey, you guys are definitely on that list too. You know, and there's definitely others that are growing, and, you know, we're like, when we're Captain Canada, like, I'm going to give you guys a little inside baseball tip here. If I generally give you a nickname, like just a goofy, off-the-wall, just random nickname, it's because, you know, because I like you. And
no, I'm the same way. I'm the same goddamn way.
It was just like, because, like,
Uh-oh.
I was, you know, like, no, because he's always, oh, I'm Rogue Spartan or whatever, you know, like Matt is like Dr. Dark Souls, like, that's his, like, he's like the Dark Souls doctor.
Oh, that's amazing. I'll take it. Thank you. Thank you so much.
And then Corey, the best thing I can do is Corey's like the living incarnation of Link. He's like the new age hero of time. Like, that's Corey.
He's the little Link that could.
The new age hero of time.
The new age. He's like John Tesh, only cool.
Yes.
There's a Morris Day and the Time joke somewhere in there. But
Oh man.
Does Corey even know who Morris Day and the Time are?
No,
probably not. And this is why
it was like last time. It was a good day. Did you use your AK? He's like, what?
Ice Cube, man, Ice Cube. Like, no, that's like me and Matt could sit there and throw out random music references at each other,
man.
and him would laugh it up, and Corey's like, what the heck, guys? What?
Okay, I love you guys anyway.
No, we love you, Corey. You know that.
Corey, we wouldn't bust on you if we didn't like you. And I do. Oh, you know, I do remember what I was gonna say. A while back.
20 minutes later.
Five topics.
No, but like, well, you know, I know that Corey and Sana are about to get married, and I'm happy for both of them. I had an interesting occurrence a couple weeks ago. My best friend Jason actually got engaged. And he wants me to be the best man in his wedding and DJ the wedding, and I'm more than happy to do that. But I because I'm literally at the tail end of my divorce, I was thinking, I'm like, how am I supposed to think about this? Am I supposed to be like, oh, well, it's all going to end in tears anyway? Might as well, or you know, and I actually had a bit of an argument with myself about him getting married, and not because I didn't think it was a beautiful thing, but because when I was on the upward trajectory in my marriage, he was always very anti-marriage, and it was an interesting way for us to become friends, because the one thing that he always sort of said to us was like, you know, I've never been a fan of getting married. I've never been a fan of, you know, giving your life to one person. But there's something special about you two. Now, the irony, now that I'm at the end of a divorce, is not lost. However, I realized something, and I think seeing Corey's video of Sana dancing at the wedding made me realize something, that, you know what? There's that moment where you can see somebody look at another person, and that person is everything to them. And when you can notice it, when you're not just someone on social media going, "Oh, look, he's taking a video of his girlfriend. Isn't that adorable?" Because the people who say that don't know what they're looking at.
Mm-hmm.
And the way I've seen, and I've not, Corey, I know I probably seem like a creeper at this point, but the way I've seen, him talk about Sana, and I apologize if I'm saying her name wrong. I'm a little drunk. But the way I see him talk about her, and the way that, the way that the videos came out from the wedding that they were just at, it's still a beautiful thing to see someone care about another. Rey has done that with Melissa as well. And the ironic thing is, I'm kind of jealous of both of you. I'm lucky enough that the woman that I'm getting divorced with, she and I are still going to be friends. She's still going to be very much a part of my life, because even through our split, I felt like she's had my back more than most, and that's something that is very special to me, and I will never, ever, ever, ever want to push that away. But, and how I'm going to tie this back in to all of this show is, it's cool to talk about the things we love in a way that isn't just, I like this. Because if Rey just said, I like Uncharted, and if I said, well, I'm not really a fan, but, well, I like Uncharted, Rey would not be the lovable Rey that he is. If Corey couldn't somehow articulate his love for Destiny, that the rest of us could really sort of be like, all right, maybe he actually likes it. None of this, I don't think any of this would happen. And because all of us like different things and are willing to, and because, all of us have been playing, games together for a bit now, but it's amazing how much the simple act of loving something and trying to share it in the most appropriate way can actually bring everybody in. And I like that we do that here.
Yeah. I love this show.
Even though Rey likes Uncharted. Even though Corey likes Destiny. Even though I like Dark Souls. Even though I like, I have a weird obsession with vinyl. I'm happy to be on this journey with both of you, and I want you both to know that.
Matt,
you know more than anyone. Yeah, I love you, bro. You've been there for me through some of the worst times, and that's when we really connected and we grew. And something while we're doing our pre-wedding toast to Corey, as you guys kind of see my positivity, my obnoxious positivity, as the guys from Neat call it.
Oh, screw that! Positivity's a good thing.
One thing that
I like the guys from. I like the Neaklings. Don't get me wrong. But seriously.
No, but but it's just one of those things. Like, and you know what? I'm not present in the physical sense with Corey and Sana, but you kind of just from talking with Corey, the way he talks about Sana, and he gets that little chipper, like that lighthearted, like heartfelt tone to it.
I'm
to his
fucking
voice.
jealous.
You know, when he
I'm
kind of
just
does
jealous.
that, and it's just like, you know, I too am on the tail end of a divorce here and going through that and waiting for everything to kind of just happen at this point now. It's just one of those things, and I was fortunate enough to find Melissa in a really difficult time and transition and stuff like that. But I'm reminded of a quote from Lao Tzu, where he says, you know, loving someone, basically, I'm going to paraphrase because I don't have it here in front of me, but loving someone is basically what gives you strength, you know, or being loved by someone is what gives you strength, but actually loving that person in return just as deeply is what gives you courage. And it's just like, I don't think Corey would have the strength to do the things that he does and takes the chances and the risks that he does, nor the courage to kind of stand in the fire when it seems like, you know, I love Corey and I've seen him transition through like 4 different phases of his life already in the brief time that I've known him. And I don't think
he's
Corey
like a Pokemon with the most evolutions ever.
you know, where he's kind of going through that, but he just has that courage to kind of takes that you know, he takes his licks and he's right there back at it again, you know. And it's just like to see someone to have that for them and for them to take that step. And one thing that about love is about being in the moment, because as Matt and I know, there are different phases and types of love and different things like that. So there are the times where you're on cloud 9 and everything is smooth sailing and everything is wonderful. There are times when everything is just utter gutter trash and it's just like, man, this is rough. But to find that someone that's basically ride or die for you through all of that and every transition and step that you've already gone through with your life and still say, hey, you know what, I want more, do it up, Corey, you did the right thing. Marry that girl.
Oh, he's already doing that.
I am.
Go marry that girl and you make sure you be good to her, just like she's going to be good to you. And you know, and it's one of those things, like, I could be cynical, and I know for a long time, like, it's funny, like, you know, the cynicism.
Wouldn't it? It would be so easy
to be cynical and just be like, man, I got burned really bad with my marriage, you know. And I've got burned really bad by this is my second marriage. So I've got burned badly twice on 2 marriages. And for me to kind of just be like, you know what, love is out there, marriage is still for those who want it. And it's going to be a battle. It's going to be, and if any piece of advice I can give you, and this is turning into relationship gone rogue now, is... Well,
relationship gone rogue sounds a bit dirty.
No, it's just like, it
sounds like we're looking at
being after
you know
dark.
what, always, you know what, Corey, if anything I can always ever tell you is always be honest, not only with Sana, but with yourself.
Yeah.
Don't live so much for the expectation of what will be. Just kind of take things for what they are.
Yeah.
And that's why I always tell people, you know what, if you're gonna love wholeheartedly. If you're gonna give of yourself without expectation.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's when truly you get the most coming back to you out of life. And I see that, and I want that for you, Corey, and I see it so much in you too. And you know, I love you, Corey, and if she's anywhere near half as awesome as you make her seem, like, I love Sana already without ever, like, even really talking to her, you know. So
in fact, we need to get Sana on the show, Corey.
I know. I told her to. I was like, we won't even have to talk about games.
We'll talk. It's like Matt and Ray could talk about whatever. They tend to do that anyway.
You see, we started with Corey's topic. We circled around to this Pokemon Go.
I said, no, we're done with that.
Sports, and and now we are where we are now. Basically, the pre-post to Corey and Sana and everything that they have for the future. So I love you, Corey. Seriously, bro. Like. You're my little bro, basically. I
feel like I need to say this. Neither Ray nor myself think Corey is in trouble because it seems like we're giving him all this encouragement, like he's going through some problems. No.
I'm actually. This is like the first time in my life where I don't have any problems whatsoever.
Honestly, Corey's good.
Like, that's what I was saying. Like, there's been transitions and this, that, the other that I've been, and there may be a bunch of stuff that I may not even be aware of.
And I say this with all due respect, Ray and I are going through it. We're just, you know what? I'm gonna say it. We're jealous you have it so put together, Corey. Would you stop?
I'm sorry.
Making us look
You
bad,
should
Corey.
you should have met me, what, 5 years ago?
Just
3 years
blow
ago?
it up while you still
2
have.
years
No,
ago.
don't do that.
And that being said, is to kind of go on a note, because a lot of people aren't familiar with Melissa except for you guys, like my internal circle. But Melissa is an amazing human being, and she is just wonderful beyond words. And I could probably sit here and try and put it into the best words possible about her.
And you'll fail because.
And I would fail horribly. And I'm actually a pretty good person into explaining and kind of doing and talking and kind of going, but. I love her so much, and she's just amazing, and it's crazy where life brings us. Even just a year ago, when I was going through all this crap, and Matt knows.
Yep.
Like Corey knows to a point, but Matt knows more.
Like it's seeing where you were a year ago today versus where you are now. Like I've never seen you smile bigger than when you talk about Melissa.
Yeah, since I started listening to you guys, and that the first couple episodes, you have a new spark than even 6 months ago. Like it's like the way somebody changes a person is just I told you guys something the last time you guys are both on together that maybe I'll get into another topic down the road, and I never thought I would ever come back from that, but the way Sana has come into my life and allows me to do this with you guys, if you would have told me this was going to happen 5 years ago, I would have been you're out of your mind.
Nah, dog.
Nah, dog. Nah.
But,
yeah, no, but
even though we all kind of have separate communities, the way all of our they're kind of all one in the same almost, the way we've built our communities together to become almost one community. The way that I've gotten to know you guys and Lee and Todd and just everybody that we talk to on a semi-regular basis, even daily almost, it's just something that I couldn't have ever asked for, and it's just been an amazing journey from, everything that we've all been through at one point or another in our life.
Yeah.
And this is when we talk, and then at the end we're like, hey, it's feeling sharing time, guys.
Well, sometimes we need to just do this.
We do need to do that. It's very therapeutic to a point.
And, I apologize if the listeners don't find it therapeutic, but I think we all need our own brand of help, and hopefully somewhere in there we've given somebody guidance to help themselves. I don't know. I'm no expert. I don't pretend to be. I'm probably an asshole that's completely full of shit. But, I think that somewhere in this there's a universal truth. What that universal truth is, I couldn't tell you. But if I didn't like doing it, I wouldn't continue to come back, and if I didn't have cool people to talk to, I'm not sure who I would. So thank you guys for being cool people to talk to, and thank you for the community for listening and not basically lobbing every ounce of hate they could at this, because I know that would be easy.
It's always easier to throw the negative than to point out the positive. But one thing definitely, I've always had an open door policy with anyone in the nation. So anyone within DNA or PA and everywhere else that no matter where you come from and you're listening to this, open door policy, anytime, day, night, whenever. I will do my best to be there for you. Find me, Facebook, Twitter, wherever you need to find me. Find me. if you need help, you need to just talk through some things, I'm your guy. Like, I'm just that kind of person.
He's not lying. He gave me stock tips last week. It was great.
Oh, man, that almost feels like a natural conclusion to this episode.
Yeah, I think it is.
I think it just kind of happened that way. That's just it. Just went. We mega evolved. If you
know what? I'm gonna quote the late great John Lennon. Life is what happens when you're making other plans. We all brought topics to this show, and none of it was talked about except for Corey's topic barely. So, whatever your topic was, gentlemen, keep a pin in it. I'm pretty sure we'll do this again.
I think we touched on it, but there's one quote about friendship, and then I'll let Corey do whatever he needs to do. But friends can help each other. A true friend is someone who lets you have total freedom to be yourself and to especially feel, or not to feel whatever you happen to be feeling at the moment, and that's fine with them. That's what the real love of friendship amounts to, letting a person be who they truly are. And that comes from someone you'll be familiar with more than anyone probably, is Jim Morrison. Matt?
Yeah, that's like the only Jim Morrison quote I like. I freaking hate the Doors. But that's not to denigrate what you just said. That doesn't mean that what you said is any less true. And I agree with it completely.
And I think that doesn't ring truer than anywhere than being with you guys and what I do with Becky and Lee on Nerd Overdrive, and what I see you do with your guys, Matt, on Platinum Achievement, with the rapport that you guys built there from being, hey guys, we're guys with microphones, let's just do this thing.
Dude, how Platinum Achievement happened, I still look at it and go, how are we still doing this? Because honestly, when you had started talking to me when we were playing Evolve, Ray, and then a while later I eventually became familiar with Corey. The way that Antonio and I, because I think it was me in our community that just said, hey, we should start a podcast, and then Antonio ran with it like a cokehead fiending a bit too much. And literally the day that was put out there, he and I were going to record that night. But then, the admins of the community were like, well, maybe you should plan a little bit.
Build an episode.
Or, have an idea rather than just a microphone and, hey, I want to talk. And then we ended up getting, when we talked about people co-hosting a show, 15 people showed up, and 5 remained. And the 5 that remained were there for a long time, and the fact that we all got along, the way that we got along, from the different backgrounds, me being from the Midwest but living in Philly, Spagnoli living in Shaolin, Antonio being from Chicago, Chris being from Beirut, Lebanon, and Imran being from Leicester in the UK. You tell me, any of you, either of you, say, hey, I'm going to put these 5 people together, and I guarantee it's going to work. Nobody would expect that to happen.
Nope, that's the United Nations of people dropping nukes on each other.
we still look at it like, how does this frickin' work? And somehow it does. And I mean, I'm sad that Antonio really isn't a part of it anymore. But he and I have talked, and we're actually on Nerd Overdrive together. And when I said it on there, I missed Antonio. I still do. So I think between Corey and I, and we had mentioned this before the show today, we will get Antonio on this show. And I'm going to warn you, Corey, look at me in the eye. We're going to ruin it for you. Just like that. Like what you're doing right now.
I think it'll be all right. It'll just be another 4-hour show. It'll be all right.
No, yeah. I won't be on that show probably. I'll listen.
Ray will pop in for like an hour and be like, I'm out.
Like, what's up, guys? I'm used to doing this for an hour-ish.
Ray will be me and just show up mid-podcast and be like, hey, somebody called my name? I'll just say El Capitan 3 times, and, and it'll happen.
Oh, man. Good times.
But
Good.
You would make it better, whereas I would just ruin it.
We don't call you the ruiner of podcasts for no reason.
To quote Corey playing Bloodborne, nailed it.
Nailed it. Oh, I designed 2 shirts today, Matt.
What?
You're gonna like them.
Oh, good.
You're gonna like it. We're gonna start doing more stuff for the store that we haven't been promoting at all. But I made a nailed it shirt, and I made a so glad you're here shirt.
Dude, did you make that a board with like a rusty nail in it? Nailed it.
The eye is a nail.
It should be Dia nailed it.
Dia nailed it.
Huh? I'm an idea man.
No, yeah, that's me too. I'm an idea man. Oh man.
I don't know how to design a T-shirt, but I can put stuff on it.
All right. Well, this has been another
therapeutic episode.
Therapeutic episode of NGR Radio. Thank you so much for joining us this week. Ray, I'm going to let you plug Nerd Overdrive and all.
Oh man, so I gotta do the lead. I gotta do the lead thing now. Oh, this is.
I'm gonna stop you for 1 second, Ray. I'm gonna stop you for 1 second. Use the coupon code PON10 for your next online order. That's all you need to do.
He sent me the readout. You want me to send it to you?
No, I got it right here. So,
okay, you have it right there with a picture of Lee just staring at you, going,
"Do it good." So, Nerd Overdrive is Phoenix Overdrive's official gaming podcast. It features Lee, the host and moderator, a.k.a. the maestro of the master race. You can find him at NCR83 on Twitter. The Game Gurus, which is the queen of the guild, or Lee calls her the sultry queen of the guild, Becky Rubin Navarro. Lee's
he
wife.
stole that from me.
Yeah, he did steal that from you. And her Twitter, you can find her on Twitter at silverish_aura. And then I am El Capitan Rey Osorio. You can find me at Twitter, LRayNY617. Ray is spelled R-E-Y. You can contact the show at Twitter at nerd_overdrive. You can email us, nerd@phoenixoverdrive.com. To catch the latest or our past episodes, catch us on the following platforms: youtube.com/Phoenix Overdrive, soundcloud.com/Phoenix Overdrive. You can search iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play Music by searching for Nerd, and then separate word Overdrive. You can share, and subscribe. See, I'm stumbling over my words because this is not my thing, But make sure you can check us out.
Way to go, Lee.
Lee.
You can check us out on the following social media platforms: Facebook.com/groups/PO Nation, or as Lee calls it, the PO Nation. Now we abbreviated. Twitter PHX_Overdrive. Well, we had to change it because people are like, the Phoenix Overdrive Nation thing is so long, so we abbreviated Phoenix O for Overdrive and then Nation. And
can't type 12 letters.
Then we find us on Instagram, PHX_Overdrive, or you can email the Phoenix Overdrive directly, phoenixoverdrive@phoenixoverdrive.com. Gotta love the redundancy there, right? And then definitely check out our Extra Life efforts. That's my heart, my passion, the thing that I will champion till the day I die. You can check us out, facebook.com/Phoenix Overdrive, the Extra Life team page, extra-life.org/team. Phoenix Overdrive 16. Thank you guys for the support and the love. I know I have it from Corey and Matt here. And as I always say, live, fight, strive to always rise above, guys. So thank you very much, guys, for letting me be on the show. It's a pleasure as always. I'm really glad both of you are here. So
yeah, you can also find all of the Phoenix Overdrive and Nation Extra Life stuff on our website now, digitalnerdadvocates.com/upon extra life, all one word. All the links are there.
Yeah. That made my life so much. That you could have told me that beforehand, Corey.
I'm sorry. I wanted to listen to you struggle through Lee's.
He wanted to plan it as well as Lee would do it.
Yeah, no. See, the thing is I can do it, but I can't do it as well as Lee because it's Lee's thing. That's his thing. Like he has it.
But see, the thing is, Becky's standing behind him going, "Practice, Lee."
Oh, you see the look she gives him whenever he fudges it up.
Oh yeah, yeah. You're not Allen Iverson. This ain't the 76ers. Practice.
Practice. We talking about practice.
You want to play Rocket League tonight, Lee? You want to play Overwatch? You practice.
Practice.
He hasn't even cracked Overwatch yet.
Oh my god.
He's sitting on it.
What a jerk.
Right?
Right? Matt, plug your stuff.
I don't have any stuff to plug. This is where I fail as a podcast host. I don't know how to promote myself. If you like,
I even made you a cool little logo and everything.
That doesn't mean I know how to talk good about myself there, Corey. If you want 15 seconds of music a day that I happen to be able to spin on my turntable that plays vinyls that stand up, I am on Instagram at infinite_rewind. I'm also on PlayStation at infinite_rewind and Wii U at infinite_rewind. Game Center, I'm on just Infinite Rewind. And Xbox, I do not have a gamer tag right now. I'm working on it. Once I actually buy another Xbox, I'll have one. Let's see. Twitch. I've been streaming with Moose, playing Bloodborne, and I will whenever I'm not playing with Moose, I will start streaming with Corey. You'll watch us die in silly ways because it's a Souls game. That is infinite_rewind as well. I'm pretty repetitive. Branding. And yeah, I am a part of the Platinum Achievement Podcast still. Find them on iTunes.
I got you.
Find them on iTunes. Find them on Soundcloud. I think we are on all Android platforms as well. You can email that show at papodcast.email@gmail.com. And I think we are on Instagram as PA Podcast. I hope that's right because I know Imran controls the Instagram, so I don't remember the ID. It's not my responsibility, and if it were, I'd probably still make the mistake. But the place that I really enjoy being is here every week with Corey. I'm so glad I'm here with Corey.
And the occasional wrecking of the Nerd Overdrive podcast.
Well, whenever you see, the thing is, whenever I'm only there whenever you guys ask me.
And then we know what you're gonna do, but we still continuously let you do it. So I think we're punishment.
I'm not gonna ruin it for you. I have a reputation to wreck. And anytime you guys want me on your show, I will. Unless something happens, and anytime Corey wants me on the DNA show, I will be there. Unless some crazy stuff happens, because I think that's why I'm sequestered to this show, which is fine. Because the minute you put me in a format, I tend to lose myself. But last time I was supposed to be on DNA, I ended up getting called into work. And now Corey started a show where we're just gonna let Shaniqua be Shaniqua.
And that's why I started the show.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Corey.
Yeah.
Take us home.
All right. Well, a few house cleaning notes real quick. We added a bunch of stuff to the website. The store page is now up. Content schedule is now up, even though it's still a work in progress. DNA Live is also up. digitalnerdadvocates.com/DNA Live, where you can watch 4 live streams at once. Mine, Matt's, Joey's, and Adam's. and he's actually currently streaming Axiom Verge, although we're not live, so by the time you watch this, it doesn't really matter. But you can find all of our content on our website at digitalnerdadvocates.com and on our YouTube page, Digital Nerd Advocates Network. Like, subscribe, and share. You can find this podcast and the DNA podcast on iTunes, SoundCloud, Stitcher, and Google Play. Just search the DNA podcast. You will get this show on Mondays and the DNA podcast on Thursdays. You can follow me at RogueSpartan4 on Twitter, Twitch, what's the other one? Instagram. Join the community page, the DNA community page. Join the Phoenix Overdrive community page. Join the Platinum Achievement community page. I'm Corey, and for Matt and Ray, this has been another episode of NGR Radio. Nerds Gone Rogue. And until next week, we love you.
Rise above, guys.
Banana and out.